It's redneck Disneyland, all right?
He said, original thought that there wasn't anything original about it. And I was brokenhearted. You were my favorite celebrity couple.
And I said, absolute chaos, hence the name. But hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Creative Chaos. My name is Hunter Ezell, and we are live with the power of the internet in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I hope you enjoyed that last episode. Me and homeboy Big Drew, Big Bubba, we knocked it out. I got tattooed on the podcast, and we're shifting gears a little bit. Way back in 2020, I filmed this podcast guest wedding in good old Dallas, Texas. And a lot of things happened on that trip. That was the first wedding I ever flew to film. It was incredible. I shared a hotel room with one of his groomsmen, and I experienced Buc-ee's for the very first time. Good night almighty. The motherland, okay? It's redneck Disneyland, all right? Well, hey, today I've got Pastor Jon Groves all the way from Orlando, Florida. What's up?
It's great to be here.
What are you doing, dude?
Dude, not nearly as much as you did when you came to my wedding in your Buc-ee's merch with your Buc-ee's, like big gulp. And you walked in to film like the little bridal thing, and you're like, "Y'all, I got beaver nuggets. I got stuff. I don't even know what it is, but like, have y'all ever been to Buc-ee's?" And
They're like, yeah.
All these Texas girls are like, "Yeah, once a week." Yeah.
So those girls that were in y'all's wedding, were those her cousins or her friends?
She had a few cousins and a couple friends growing up.
Some of them girls were like, "Where'd y'all get this Jaybird from?" That's typically how it goes.
Yeah.
Is I get up in there, in the summer times, I'll wear like short sleeves and stuff like that. And I was up in there and I'm just like, man, I know these jokers were like, did they find this guy off of Craigslist or what? And it's funny, you go all the way over to Greece. People still are like, who are you? You don't look like you're in the wedding industry. But Buc-ee's is awesome.
It was amazing.
Dude, I love Buc-ee's. Your wedding day was fantastic too.
Dude, it went really well.
Dude, it went extremely well. I loved it. Venue, literally, it was funny. If COVID did not happen, I was going to have another wedding at that place. And it was a girl from here. Yeah, she moved out there to work for Southwest. She was like part of like the crew.
Yeah.
The pit crew or something for the airplanes and stuff like that. And she was getting married at y'all's venue.
It's an incredible venue.
It's super sick. But, dude, what's your life look like these days?
And we church planted in the Orlando area, and that's been going well. The church is about a year and a half-ish years old now. And about 2 months ago, this other church right across this big lake from us, Lake Monroe. If you had a boat, you could be there in 5 minutes, but you got to drive like 25 minutes around the lake to get there. Long story short, we got connected, and so now we've got a 9 a.m. service up in Deltona and an 11 a.m. service in Lake Mary. Both churches are doing well. I preach at both of them.
You preach at both of them?
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
So it kind of feels like I'm back here because, man, I would preach Sunday morning in Cadiz, Sunday night in Tullahoma, Murfreesboro area, Tennessee.
You was putting some miles on that.
Oh,
boy.
man. I was doing like 400 miles every Sunday, something like that.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
It was amazing.
Oh, my goodness. So, dude, that was cool. So, if you don't know, Jon used to pastor one church in Cadiz right next to my dog's veterinarian clinic. We still go there, even though we live in Hopkinsville. Logan, please fix that. Oh, my goodness gracious. But, dude, we have a common friend in Mason and Leah Geiger. Whenever they listen to this, we got to take a selfie. We got to send them a photo. Those are two of our best friends.
Incredible people.
Incredible people. I wish you were there. We went whitewater rafting with these cats. And Mason was like, there's no rapids on this. It's pretty chill. In the very end, I guess something happened. I guess he just told a little fib,
That sounds like him.
Brother, there was a girl in front of us that was like, I just picked this one because it was chill. Dog, she's barely hanging on. She's straddling the side of this raft boat. Mason's back here losing his mind laughing. I'll find the video and I'll put it right here so you can check it out. You got to see this. I have my 360 camera. Dude, you just see him back there dying laughing. He was a different color. But I love that guy. Incredible.
You know, Mason and Leah were some of my first hires here. The church here had been through some craziness, and so I inherited a few people, and one particular kids ministry leader I had to let go of pretty quick. So I called Mason and Leah in, this young couple who had kind of been just like checking me out from a distance, you know. And I bring them in and I'm like, hey, listen, I think you'd be the people for this job. And they're like, yes, we would. And I mean, they jumped in and they worked and they put stuff together. They had costumes, they had props, they had the works. If I could hire them where I'm at right now, I would bring them down to Orlando in a heartbeat.
I literally, you know, you talk about costumes and stuff. I did a promo video for y'all a couple years ago. I want to say it was maybe 2019.
Yeah.
And I pulled up and Mason told me about this story, and he was like, you remember when you come over there and you filmed that video and there was somebody in a Greatest Showman outfit? I was like the Hugh Jackman looking character. He was like, yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I look like Hugh Jackman. My man was committed to the role.
Yeah, he was.
And he is.
Did they ever tell you about when they took me to explore like the abandoned bridge, water tower, something? I think it's in LBL.
Did they really?
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
So it's like a rite of passage. If you're going to be in this area, you got to go, you know, break the law. Like we hop in the truck and they brought their own ladder that they carried into the woods. And so a few of us go out there and I'm like, is this legal? And they're like, well, it's not exactly illegal. So, you know, so we go out there and we're exploring, taking photos. I learned about the, what is the monster of LBL? You know, like,
I don't know about this.
There's a whole like YouTube documentary about the Bigfoot character that haunts LBL. I think
probably just Bird Dog or something, y'all.
Something. It was amazing.
That's crazy, dude. Did you ever go to Pilot Rock while you were here?
I don't think so.
Dude, so it's on the other side of Christian County. So it's like if you're going towards like Bowling Green, and it's this humongous rock. It's like you get up on it, you forget you're in Hopkinsville. But yeah, it's about that. But you know, people are like, oh, we're going on a hike, and it's just Pilot Rock.
Yeah.
Kids smoke so much stuff up there, dude. I was like, get out of here. It's like an abandoned radio tower. But, dude, yeah, no, Mason and Leah, I know you're listening to this. We got to get you on here eventually, but we're going to Japan with them next year. I'm very excited about that.
It's a privilege to be able to go on a Geiger adventure.
Yes. You know about it. Hey.
Hashtag Geiger Adventure.
Shout out Geiger Adventure. We're going to plug you right here, baby, right here.
That is the YouTube channel that needs to happen. If they had merch, I would buy it.
Dude, well, Logan redid their logo, and they put it on, like, some business cards and stuff like that. And, dude, they're just... I would watch a Mason and Leah long-form vlog.
Absolutely.
Like, I would love to see how they get themselves in Poland. Like, I would love to... I want to see how Mason spends his time on a long-haul flight.
Yeah.
You know? He probably is just sitting there like this. Just chilling.
Like, he's the most perfectly content dude. You know, Leah is that, like, detail analytical. She got all of the, you know, itinerary mapped out. Yes. She knows exactly what you're doing every minute. And Mason's like, man, I'm just here for the ride. I'm not even sure exactly where we're going.
That's why we're hanging out next week to plan our Japan trip. I was like, she's going to have this thing down to the wire.
Yeah, she will.
She will have this down to the wire. But, dude, speaking of adventures, you are a father. How was that?
And it is the greatest adventure.
Dude.
Got a little girl, and Lord willing, you know, more. You know, Lord willing soon.
Come on.
But got a little girl. She just turned 4 this summer, and she is amazing. She is every bit of my extroverted personality, with so much of her mother in there as well. So she is hilarious.
Dude.
An extrovert, a people person. She probably knows more people in our church than I do. Really? I mean, she knows their names.
Is she your door grader?
Oh, my goodness. I would let her do it full time, except for I think she'd be asking people for stuff.
Yeah.
She'd be like, did you bring me, you know, you got to pay the Sienna tax to get in the church. But she's like, did you bring me a cake pop? You know, she'll ask. Like, what do you got for me today?
Sounds like what I used to do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what you got for me today?
Come on.
That's crazy.
The church candy has upgraded from the butterscotch of our day.
Really?
Like it used to just be, you know, there was that one old person that had butterscotch, or if you were lucky, those little strawberry candies. No one knows where you even buy those things
The
from.
cream savers, bro, they just spawned.
Bro, the cream savers were amazing.
And they like disappeared though. I don't know where they went.
They're back.
Where they at?
They're at Cracker Barrel. All the good candy we grew up with, those mango sours that Altoids used to make, back at Cracker Barrel.
Really?
Praise
Are
God.
they under the Cracker Barrel like name, or is it?
No, just a company figured out that was where their target audience goes to eat, so that's the shop that they sell them in.
Yeah, dude. They had
Next level.
I
If there were anointed candies, those were the ones.
Kid falling asleep in church, you hand them one of them things. It's either gonna be your Werther's butterscotch. It's gonna be your. Was it Lifesaver? No, it's a cream saver.
The cream savers were the church ones.
Bro, what about the candies that were in like the red foiled wrappers?
Yeah, that was those strawberry ones.
Bro,
Yeah.
dude.
Took you about 3 hours to open it up. There was some lady in the most serious part of the sermon just.
I tell you what I hate. Growing up as a fat kid, I'd go in there. I'd sneak into the kitchen late at night. There is nothing louder than a chip bag at 11:30 at night.
It's true.
And at candy wrappers in church. Dude, I'm telling you, man. But so y'all are in Orlando, Florida?
We are, and we love it.
So you in like the outskirts, or you like Orlando?
So the Orlando metro is kind of weird. Like everybody's in cooperation with one another, even though it's like tiny towns that make up the metro. You know, Orlando is actually pretty small as a city.
Yeah.
But we're in one of the northern little suburbs. And what's cool is every single one of the Orlando metro cities has its own downtown and its own farmer's market and its own just like cool vibe. So our church is on a downtown block in Lake Mary. We live in the downtown of another community. Like we love it.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, I love what you're doing, man. I keep up with you. I see you on Threads cutting up. I'm glad somebody uses Threads because I had to get off Twitter. I hated Twitter. It's just, I got so aggravated at Twitter for the longest time. It was like, I'm over here, like I'm an avid wrestling fan. I love wrestling. And it's like, no matter what you do, stuff's going to pop up on your algorithm that I was like, I don't want to see this.
And don't care.
I don't care about seeing this. Get this out of here. And like, I just wish that the algorithm would, if I hide enough things, you should not recommend that.
Exactly.
To me.
You know, Threads, like, this is probably terrible, and I'm just going to admit to it. I don't have notifications on for anything. And the Threads algorithm is so like virally wired right now that I'll just hop on there and be like, who can we stir up today? You know, and so
Me on Facebook.
You just drop like one little truth on there and then wait 24 hours and come back and see hundreds of angry replies. And man, it's just a good time.
Dude, I love doing that, but I'm more of a, it's funny. I have this podcast, you know, I'm out there, you know, doing my thing, but regardless of what I could be doing, I could have Jon Groves on the podcast. I could have Tammy Slayton on the podcast. I could have the governor on and what have you, all sorts of people on. I'm still going to post nonsense. I'm still going to post nonsense. I was driving to Louisville last weekend, and I posted on Facebook. I said, if you drink root beer, I don't trust you. And it's the truth.
Yep.
You know, we went on vacation back in July, and have you seen the guys on the internet that will just be like hanging out at the pool today, and it's a guy with his shirt off, and one of his nipples is completely blown up.
Yeah,
I did that, and people were calling my mom. They were like,
"Is he
Hunter okay? He needs to go to the doctor." I was like,
goodness.
now with this Sora AI, I'm taking it to the next level. Have
Bro,
you messed around with that?
No, and I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can trust
I got
myself.
one more invite code if you want it.
Send it. Send
I
it.
got you, dude. I'm having a blast with it. I posted a video, and we're going to put a lot of content in this episode, okay? I posted a video of me saying, if you aren't following Ezell Film Company, what are you doing? But the catch was I was snowboarding down the Himalayas. Man, why aren't you following Ezell Film Company yet on Instagram? And we had a birthday dinner for my father-in-law a couple weeks ago, and I walk in, and Logan's grandma, we call her Fun Mommy. Fun Mommy comes up to me, and she goes, "Hunter, you got back real quick. Where were you snowboarding at?" I said, "Frida, what are you talking about?" She goes, "You posted a video on the internet of you snowboarding." And I was like, "Oh, no. That was fake."
Yeah.
We're getting into dangerous territory.
Oh, bro. And my mother-in-law is like chief victim of these videos. I mean, she calls us the other day. She's just worried. She's like, there are a bunch of kids being snatched up by bears and alligators right on the Ring doorbells in their front yard.
Bro, hold on. Look
She's
at
like,
this.
you have got to watch out.
Bro, you got to check this out. My favorite ones are the ones of like the monkeys that are they're on the Ring doorbells and they're getting sucked up by is it going to play? Hello? I love iCloud so much.
Shout out to our episode sponsor, iCloud.
Watch this guy. Whoa. Just
right into the tornado.
But like, it's getting crazy. Like this one. You ever seen the one about there's a Shane Gillis sketch where he said his uncle, he will take a grilled cheese with him everywhere he goes, and his uncle is part of the special needs community, and he's like, I gotta have a grilled cheese with me everywhere I go. Somebody took that sketch, they put it into Sora. Look at this. I could not tell that this was fake or if this was real. Like I thought it was real.
Danny, it's 1:30 in the morning. What are you doing, bud?
Making grilled cheese, 25 so far.
25?
Yeah, for tomorrow.
And
For now.
For now.
That's crazy.
Bro, I saw that video. I thought that was real.
No.
It wasn't until that one where I saw the little Sora logo on there that I didn't know.
But they're taking, people are getting the logo removed. We're going to have to mandate AI, I'm afraid. We're going to have to. You know, I get so aggravated at these people that are like, I hate AI so much. I was like, AI's been around for years, and it's just gotten
accessible to everyone.
But it's just one of those things that I'm at the point now where I'm like, we got to do something about this, because people are like, I don't think it's sustainable. Now, in my everyday to-day life, I use AI. I will say I use AI for a bunch of different things to make my life easier.
Yeah.
Like, it will clean up the audio of this podcast. It will also cull photos for me from like photo shoots and stuff like that. Just little tedious tasks, you know, stuff like that. Do you use it for anything that you do?
Bro, I used it to do my taxes.
Yes.
Like, I uploaded card statements and bank statements and all this stuff in there and told it how to sort and turn everything into a spreadsheet. Stuff that it used to take me hours to comb through. I mean, I uploaded my mileage for the year.
Yeah.
And said, here are the addresses of the places that are deductible places. And it was like, boom, 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 boom. I mean, what would have taken me hours to sort through?
Yeah.
Immediate.
It soft did my taxes for me. And it was, so that way I had like a pretty good number of what I was going to have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
Because, being freelance, working for yourself.
Man, it's crazy.
But, dude, yeah, it was one of those things that I was like, this is useful. This is useful.
Yeah.
But I think in the art and the media category of AI, I genuinely don't see how Hollywood and all stuff like that, AI is not going to take over. I don't think, because I saw somebody say a couple days ago, they were like, there's no way you were ever going to replace Hollywood movies and big blockbusters. It's like, give me an actor.
Tom Cruise.
Okay, Tom Cruise. Give me a genre of movie that he's never been in.
Horror.
Okay. If you take, they're saying that AI is going to get to the point where you can say, give me a Quentin Tarantino style horror film starring Tom Cruise, and it would give you exactly what you're saying. That's not going to happen.
No.
There's no way.
So the thing that people have to remember about AI is that you get out of it what you put into it.
Yes.
You know, and so the fact that you can say, give me a Quentin Tarantino style, like there had to have been a Quentin Tarantino.
Absolutely.
So somebody's got to be the curator. It can't create so much as it you know, pulls together things that it collects. And I'm seeing this a lot, like even in the church space. Like AI has either made great preachers even better, or it's made sucky preachers even worse. Because, you know, the great preachers are able to go to AI and be like, source for me a true and verifiable historic illustration to help me make this point. And then they know what's good and they know what's bad, so they're able to take it and use it and cultivate. But then I'm seeing a lot of guys, man, I know this young preacher who, like, he's an okay preacher, not a whole lot of like content, but you know, he's good at shouting, so people really like him. And I know a middle-aged guy along the same lines. Both of them release books, and they're like, check out our new book that we just wrote. And I'm like,
AI made that for you, honey.
I mean, I'm looking through it and I'm like, you forgot to remove the M dash from in there. Like the style of each page is exactly the same. There's no flow. This doesn't even sound like you. So it's not even like, I thought, you know, ghostwriters was like slightly dishonest back in the day. And now we got guys releasing, you know, original thought that there wasn't anything original about it.
I get on the local aspect. Yes, I'm talking local. If you are a business, why are you using AI artwork to advertise your events?
Oh my goodness.
What is wrong with you?
Bro, it's laziness for one, it's ignorance for another. Social media, I think the algorithms are eventually going to have to punish the AI content.
Absolutely.
And YouTube is already starting.
Yes.
They're like, hey, we're not going to monetize that content as much as we monetize original, like you sitting in front of the camera type content.
What's that guy? Was it Dar Man or something? He makes those short form movies for YouTube. There's another guy that was using these kids are raking in money with AI.
Yeah.
Like big time AI. And I'm just like, there's got to be a point where, you know, I mean, they're not making any money off of AI. It's just, they're just burning resources right now. It's like not profitable for them yet.
Yeah.
And it's not sustainable in the long run. I think it's going to be like more of like a use case kind of deal whenever, like, you know, say you have a Tesla, you use AI to like accurately navigate traffic.
Right.
I think that's better.
Yeah.
I think using AI, you know, I think the new Canon cameras have got AI to where like it can remember a person's face. So like if I had this technology on your wedding day, it would automatically remember that, oh, Jon Groves is the groom. Let's make sure that the groom is in focus in the video.
That's cool.
That's sick. I just don't think you should be like, oh, here's me and Tammy Slayton skydiving. You know, that hasn't happened yet. But if you saw the last episode, I'm going to start putting myself in precarious situations.
I think you should.
I would love to.
I mean, when your relationship with Tammy ended and y'all broke up, it broke my heart.
Thank you.
I was rooting for, you know, Ezell.
Ezell.
I was
Sleazell, Slayton, and Ezell. Oh Lord, pet names are crazy.
Man, I was on Team Sleazell. I was rooting for you. And then it ended and I was brokenhearted. You were my favorite celebrity couple.
Dude, it was so interesting. That just hit me. Like, it was actually funny. Mary Beth texted me and Logan, and she was me, her, and Logan and Peyton have a group chat called Hogwarts because we took a 24-hour trip to Universal a couple years ago. And we flew back in the same day. So it was like 18 hours. So that's why it's called Hogwarts. But she texted in that chat and she said, you guys been on the internet? I go, I live on the internet. It's my job. She goes, have you seen this? I go, no. And it was a People magazine article. I said, oh gosh. Because Tammy told me whenever we were doing the podcast, there was a couple things we couldn't talk about. We couldn't mention the distributor of the show, and we couldn't mention the show directly So, like intellectual property stuff like that. When you
Yeah.
get into the space like that, you don't realize all the moving parts.
Yeah.
The legality, stuff like that. If there is a place for you to get sued, you're going to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I've come to find out. So I was sitting there, and Mary Beth sends me this People magazine quote, and it's like news dropped that it wasn't public knowledge about Tammy's engagement. And I said, uh-oh. I was like scared to death. I'm like, we're only 6 episodes in. What's happening? And then I messaged Tammy. I was like, is this okay? She goes, yeah, LOL. That's it. As charismatic and stuff as she is in person, bro, she K's me. She sends me K text messages. Back in the day, whenever I was a single Pringle talking to a girl, if you K'd me, you're getting cut off.
Yeah.
With a K. It's not happening. But I'm glad you enjoy me and Tammy. I want to start doing these different combinations of guests. I'd love to get you and Tammy on next time you're in town.
Bro, that'd be fun.
How about we do just like a Knights of the Round Table? You, me, your wife, Logan, and Tammy.
Dude, that would be a ton of fun.
Chaos.
It would be that.
Absolute chaos. Hence the name. But, dude, speaking of chaos, one thing that I know you and I have in common, we are both Disney annual pass holders.
Absolutely.
What you know about the mouse?
Bro, it is, man, when you live in Florida, that pass is so cheap.
Absolutely.
And we were super blessed. There was a couple that were like, hey, we want to bless your family with this. So that
Really?
you've got a place to go. And they're like, you can't be living down there and not having this pass. And so we accepted. We're like, we're not going to turn that gift down. And so to be able to on a random Tuesday be like, hey, you know what? Let's go walk around, 9 different countries real quick and just have a good time.
It's so incredible how whenever you are a pet, like I want to say that it's a part of me that misses, the rare feeling you get when you're like, oh, I'm going to Disney World. But the fact that I can say, let me hop on a cheap Spirit Airlines flight down to Orlando. And I did that back in March before I even had the pass. I was like, I want to go to Magic Kingdom with my friends for one day.
Yeah.
And I flew back. But dude, it's like, we purposely don't ride certain things. We're like, oh, we're coming back. We can hit that next time.
Yeah.
So what's give me your top 3 rides.
Ooh, okay. I think that the Avatar Flight of Passage has got to be number 1. Like, that's just the most incredible. Going into Epcot, Guardians of the Galaxy is an easy second place.
Logan's like, yeah, editing this right now. She's like, yes.
And then third, man, all the other ones are pretty much the same, Like, okay, classic, the roller coaster inside Magic Kingdom.
Oh, Space Mountain?
Space Mountain is incredible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you ever done the Halloween version of that?
Mm-mm.
It's pitch black.
They turn everything off.
Everything off, and there's like this spooky, ominous music playing underneath it. We went, so we had Mr. John Miles Brockman on the podcast a couple episodes back, and we flew down there, and we stay at Pop Century every time. That's what I'm going to do. I love the Skyliner. I'm a Skyliner fiend.
Oh yeah.
I have a miniature Skyliner, little like car at the house.
Now see, I like the train. I like the monorail.
Really?
I like to be able to get on there and, everybody's like excited to get there. And before it even comes on the PA, I'll just kind of turn my face away so they don't know it's me. And I'll say, please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas. And people are like, what? I'm like, you're
Where's
now
that?
entering the Magic Kingdom. And
Bro, you got that down.
bro,
What the heck?
dude, I love it. Like, I wanna record a version of that, for the opening of church. Please come inside the doors, shut your kids up, put your nail clippers away, and silence your phones. Something like that. Just
Literally. My mama needed that way back in the day at the bridge. She let her phone stay on.
Oh,
And you
my
know what
goodness.
her ringtone was?
It couldn't have been good.
Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne. Roy went.
Mm.
Then I was like, man, if churches could have commercial breaks,
Oh my goodness.
good Lord, Lifeway would have sponsored that joint big time. But dude, Disney, I don't really get the people that are like, if we're going to talk about, you the man that knows about church stuff like that, let's go ahead and hit this. I don't think Disney is as evil as people make it out to be.
Bro, so there's a mix here. There are the people that are like, everything Disney ever put out is demonic, and I'm like, okay, right now, like this moment, viral on social media is the whole Disney Johnny Appleseed movie with that killer song, "The Lord's Been Good to Me." So some would say even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and again.
Yeah.
But the people who want to find an agenda behind everything and boycott everything, you got to be consistent with that if that's the route you're going to take.
Yeah, I mean...
So no more Amazon Prime for you.
Literally.
No more Walmart, no more Target.
No more Wayfair because they was shipping kids in boxes.
Yeah, no more Temu. No more... Like, you can't... There are 0 cell phone companies that aren't tied up in some sort of, politically motivated leftist mess. Car companies, good Lord. What car company can you shop at now?
What
None of
we
them.
are seeming to realize is I preach this a ton in my day-to-day life. Me and Logan, if we are getting on social media too much, we're bricking our cell phones. There's a thing you tap on, you tap, and then it just completely, it's like advanced screen time. If you turned off your phone and you got outside, all your problems in your head will go by the wayside.
Yes.
And I find myself on my phone less and less.
Yeah.
And I recently have come to the idea that I need to be off my phone a lot less because I read somebody's book, a guy named Carlos Whitaker, and he wrote a book called Reconnected. And I listened to the ebook because me sitting down reading a book, I'm not doing that. But I'm an ebook guy. I try to be. That was the first book I ever listened to as an adult. It changed my life. And he kept talking about, he was like, we gain our consciousness back of what really matters and what doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine how, like, the internet's not real, but the people on it are.
Yeah.
And I just, it's so easy to make something up and put up. I saw a guy, I love this guy. I don't know him personally, but apparently we're friends on Facebook. And he put up a AI image of Dr. Pepper flavored milk. And old people were commenting on it, and they were saying, ew, gross. What is this world coming to?
Oh, my goodness.
But, dude, what do you got for me on all that?
Like, anxiousness is, the great disease and plague of our day.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of it is perpetuated. And it's not just young people, by the way. I would submit that just as many, if not more, of the older generation have it. They just don't call it that. Because just like the younger generation is feeding this anxiousness with social media and Twitter feeds and whatever, you got an older generation that are watching the news when they wake up and before they go to bed.
Constantly
And
just worried.
Bro, in our house, we just said bye to the news. We've got a couple good email newsletters that we subscribe to that are like old school newspaper, just unbiased, based. Here's what's going on in the world if you care. And sometimes we read it and sometimes we skip by it. I want to be informed about the things that I need to be informed about, but in the doses that we just were not meant as humans to know about every evil atrocity that's happening every single day.
I saw something, and I hit on this a couple episodes back. We were not made to, and I don't want to focus on this too much. I know this is a very particular topic for a lot of people. We were not made to watch somebody get assassinated on TikTok and then go and watch a funny fail compilation immediately after.
Exactly.
We were not built like that.
It's a numbing, and like in our house, we've kind of made a rule that if we're going to watch something later at night, like it's going to need to be something black and white. It's like my 4-year-old daughter, man, she'll come in, the living room sometimes and we'll have some hot tea around 8 o'clock. She'll be like, Dad, can we watch the Andy Griffith show?
Hey, I know
You know,
that's right.
And so, we're working our way through all the season of the Andy Griffith Show, and we've already got a lineup of Beverly Hillbillies and Leave It to Beaver, and just stuff where I can know that whatever comes across the screen is going to be chill and wholesome, and that everybody can go to sleep, with, a nice release of breath and not, thinking through all these things.
I don't think there would. Well, do you think there was ever a point where, like, because I know there was a movie that they actually showed at our church back in the day, and maybe you can help me, and we'll cut all this dead air out if it doesn't come to anything. But there was a older movie that they used to have, like, movie nights at Bridge of Hope way back in the day in the summertime, and there was an old movie where there was like a Christian time traveler. Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
What was it called?
The Power of the Air.
I don't. Was it that?
It was just one movie, or it was a series?
Well, it was a guy. He was like a Christian theologian from the 1800s, and he time traveled to like the mid 1990s, and
To see what the world would look like without the Bible.
and he was just freaking out, dude.
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
It was by a film company called the Cristiano Brothers, something like that. Two twin brothers that put out Christian movies back in the day.
I think it's the same realm of the people that made like the God's Not Dead movies. I think
Yeah.
maybe like the earlier on.
Yeah.
But you remember how shocked that guy was?
Yeah.
He was like, the things that they were doing back then are not the things that we're doing at all now. And I mean, even like I wore a hat last night in there, and I was afraid that one of the older people were gonna like take it off my head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just things that we've normalized
Yeah.
in our day to day now that can be considered like absolute just blasphemous across all the boards. That everybody does though, and
Here's my preachery, / conspiracy theory for you on all of this. From the AI to the mental numbing to, things not being that were once disrespectful, not being anymore. When I read Revelation, like most people, I have more questions than I have answers. So I'm not here to give a class on this is exactly how it's going to go. Because when people get overconfident, I'm like, yeah, bless your heart. But I do see, this Antichrist performing these, miraculous and incredible things in front of the entire world watching. And part of me wonders if the media isn't conditioning us for that. Like every successful box office has been some sort of a superhero movie where somebody invades from outer space.
oh,
It
absolutely.
would not shock me if the Antichrist doesn't show up with some sort of like a UFO spectacular sort of a thing. And how does everyone see it? Rapid, fast, Starlink internet. Or maybe those things aren't real. Maybe they're all AI generated and everybody just recognizes this dude. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I think all of it is just like urging us on toward the end of days.
No, I think it is going to get to a point where if that person does come to fruition, people won't believe it's real.
Yeah.
And it'll be too late. I do. I wholeheartedly do. I think, but what I do not like is these Christian influencers that get on the internet and they're like, oh, the rapture is going to happen next Tuesday.
Oh,
You
my
better get
goodness.
ready.
Yeah.
You better get ready. I was like, I think you're real close to getting your invite card to upstairs taken away if you keep on doing this crap for views.
Bro, clickbait Christianity is a plague. And the people who are getting, millions of shorts views by like, you got to watch this right now. You won't believe.
What's
what
that
this
boy
one-
named Jason A? You know that guy on YouTube?
I know who you're talking about.
Bro, that stuff, he was like, the world's in shambles.
Yeah. Clickbait Christians, man.
Well, I get tired of all these people. Look, we getting into it now. I told Logan, I said, I wanted this to be one of our focal points. I get so tired. Anytime my boy Forrest Frank opens his mouth on the internet,
Yeah.
they're like, well, he shouldn't be saying this, that, and the other. I was like, he's got a right to the platform just like everybody else does.
Exactly.
But the most recent controversy with him, if you wanted to know who Forrest Frank's biggest fan is, it is Logan Elizabeth Ezell.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's got all the T-shirts I've seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But one of the things that really come out recently was he said he wasn't going to go to the Dove Awards.
Yeah.
You know, and then people were like, he said that he doesn't want to stand on a platform and accept a trophy for doing, you know, his thing whenever he the greater reward is, you know, with the Lord, stuff like that. And then people like Jelly Roll commented on it, and it's like, you know, but I'm just so tired of people acting like that just because, and I know you might hear this a lot too, the people that talk about like I heard it recently. I know some people that went to see Bethel. They played in Clarksville.
Yeah.
And they were like, I think it's so crazy how you have to pay money to go to a Christian concert. They got bills too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure you was paid to come up here.
Yeah.
You know?
I think what people need to remember, especially with guys like Forrest Frank, is the internet has given young people the ability to fail out loud extremely publicly and to learn, you know, in flight and in process. Stuff that, like, when we were growing up, we got to say ridiculous stuff, and the only people that heard us were our parents. And they looked at us and they're like, shut up, that's dumb. You know, and no one will ever know all the things that we said. You know, so I thought Jelly Roll's, you know, acceptance speech where he's like, I'm glad I didn't miss the trees for the forest. You know, like, epic fail. Like, you don't need to fire shots at a fellow believer from your acceptance speech. But number two, like Forrest, I feel convicted, the greater reward. Well, I don't see you turning down the Spotify royalties check. So be consistent in your apologetic.
Yeah.
Or maybe just say, maybe just, you know, respectfully decline, and the whole world doesn't need to know how your brain is processing everything.
I think we've gotten to a point where we feel like we need to speak out about absolutely everything.
And not everybody needs to hear your thoughts on every situation.
Exactly. And I think social media has given us this platform that we feel like, let me put my 2 cents in on this.
Yeah.
Honey, if you wanted to know half the stuff I was thinking, well, it wouldn't be good.
No.
Because I'm very, I got some crazy things. I think that we would be better off without cell phones, but I think it's too late for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got, you know, I mean, it's just internet everything, internet this, internet that. And I know I make my money off of it, but I'm just like, dude, we got to get back to basics.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's hope for that.
Yeah.
I think that Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they've never had more technology at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And yet we're seeing this slight disconnect. You talked earlier about the brick. Like, who is the target audience? Who's buying that? It's mostly younger people.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, I'm beginning to feel how anxious I get. Or, you know, guys that aren't even Christians. There are apps out there to help guys get away from internet and inappropriate content addiction that aren't even faith-based, because the science is showing like this is a cancer to your brain. And they're like, you know what? I do want to get away from that.
And it's gotten to the point now where like you don't even have to have a problem with those things that are like, you don't have to have like an addiction problem to those certain things, but it's just the fact of the matter that like you're just tired of seeing it.
Yes, it's everywhere.
You're just tired of seeing it. Not everything needs to be sexualized.
No.
Not everything needs to have some kind of propaganda behind it. Not everything has to have like, you should be mad about this.
I don't need anyone telling me what I should and shouldn't be mad about. Okay, the scripture informs my mood and my spirit.
Correct.
And I would submit that just like we used to get frustrated with people that base their whole, you know, identity and whatever on their daily horoscope, it is no different, and it is no less demonic, the people that mood is shifted based on the content that they receive. How much power does that have to have, you know, over you? How much control does the media have that they can take somebody who ought to be filled with the joy of Jesus and cause you to be distressed or angry or anxious or whatever your go-to, you know, emotion is?
I just, you know, it's, I would see a certain headline or something like that. It's just, let me run that back. I see certain things on the internet and it just like straight up ruins my day.
Yeah.
you know, and I just don't think it goes back to what you said earlier. We were not built. Imagine showing a person from the 1700s your TikTok algorithm. They would probably be in a mental asylum
Yeah.
after 10 minutes. Yeah, here's Zing Zing, the big fat monkey. You ever seen that fella?
No.
Let me show you real quick.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You see this monkey,
Yeah.
and then you scroll, and you know it's somebody getting beat up in a parking lot because they was hollering at their mama. Don't catcall my mother, you know, that kind of stuff. And it's just like we weren't built. But how can we fix it? You know, you said you said earlier, you know, there's a solution to it.
The solution is faith-based Christian. It's local church, but it's the community aspect that the church brings. So when the Bible becomes your source of truth, which only can happen inside, you know, local church community, right? Because the Bible speaks to the necessity of that local church, you know, authority and community and connectivity and all those things. So inside the local church is the solution to all these things. So now the source of my truth is the truth. It's the Word of God. Now my growth as a person is happening with iron sharpening iron, with discipleship and spiritual fathers and mothers and brothers and sisters. And now my joy is resourced in having people that are by my side, linked arms, like we're in this together. And I mean, it's incredible. These things that people are like going to dating apps for, the church has provided for thousands of years. And so I think the solution is to hang up and hang out with God's people.
The church was the original plenty of fish.
It was, though.
For real.
It was the place where if you wanted to disseminate some news, you sent a letter to the pastor and he let everybody know. If you needed community, friendship, meals, food, I mean, they were in one another's homes every day, breaking bread, because if we ain't eating, we ain't meeting, praise God. You know,
Amen.
But they were breaking bread, abiding in the apostles' doctrine. They had all things in common. So it's like if you had a need, you went to the church and were like, I have a need. Well, sister so-and-so can help you with that.
Brother, Logan's parents' church, they still send out voicemail newsletters. You know, it's like Sunday night, or it's like maybe Saturday night or something like that. You'll get a voicemail with the prayer request for the church and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff needs to come back.
Absolutely it does.
You know,
when we made things cool and we assigned, you know, buzzwords to biblical concepts, and then in the culture that we live in where truth is subjective and words can mean different things to different people, we need to just come back to biblical definitions of biblical community. Yeah. Every church is like, we do life together. And I'm like, okay, what percentage of your people are actually in those life groups? And what do they do at those life groups? You know, you talked about Carlos Whitaker earlier. When I was pastoring here in this area, our church was growing. So in Cadiz, we go to 2 services. Tennessee is exploding. We had something going on in Georgia. So I'm driving, doing all this, and I realized I needed friends, I needed community, I needed help. And so I start going to the Tuesday night service of the Belonging, and they talk about life groups. And I'm preaching life groups to all of our campuses, but I wasn't in one because I couldn't be. So I started going to Carlos Whitaker's life group.
Man. And
I didn't tell anybody that I was a pastor or who I was. I didn't give out my social media. I just went as a regular dude, just John. And when Carlos released his Kill the Spider book, I actually had him come preach it at our church as part of our revival. But I got plugged into this community. I started making friends. I started, you know, like I had people to go out with, people to text, people to whatever. And then after we built that, eventually people figured out, you know, who I was and what I was doing. And then, you know, and that was all great and good. But the necessity for that, like we have to have it. All of us have to have it. We're failing without it.
I think it's funny you say that. That's something that's been on my mind a little bit. And I'm going to be a little bit more transparent here. It's really hard for me to be seen as just Hunter.
Yeah.
It's really hard for me to be seen just as, you know, not the video guy, not the drummer guy.
Right.
You know, so that was really cool that you did that. You know, you didn't tell anybody what you were doing. You know, I've had people that have told me that, like, you know, sometimes you just, what if Hunter moved away?
Yeah.
150 miles from here where nobody would know him, you know, that way you could get something real like that, you know? I just think that it's crazy that, like, you have to go to those links,
Yeah.
but I mean, it is hard. It's hard for me, especially, I mean, I'm grateful to say that there's some places that I can't go to without being recognized for what I do. How cool is that, though?
Yeah.
That's a blessing. It's great, but it's just like we run into this problem, me and Logan do, and we talked about it on the podcast, not in grave detail, a couple weeks ago. But it was like being seen for more than who you are. I'm sure which I mean, correct me on this. I mean, I feel like you probably you probably only want to be seen as like a shepherd of the gospel. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, because like that's what you do. You see what I'm saying?
And that's where community is necessary, because community implies in the very name that there are people from different walks of life. Like I want to be remembered as a powerful preacher of the gospel, a shepherd of the local church, a strong husband, a great dad, like all those things. But the public aspects of that, the preacher and the shepherd, even because of content, that's going viral. Every once in a while, I'll go to a place where someone will be like, I saw your video about...
People feel like they really know you.
Exactly. And that's incredible, and it's awesome. And so what I learned is I need friends who don't do ministry and are not in ministry so that we can chat about regular stuff, and they never ask me like, hey, could I also get a free counseling session while you're here? As my friend, if they needed help, I would help them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I finally got a group of men that I can go hang out with and just be John.
Yeah.
And we can go shoot guns, or we can go, do whatever.
Yeah.
And just be ourselves. And it's not, in that environment, and they don't go to my church.
Yeah.
Because they can't, But in that environment, nobody's like, oh, Pastor John, Pastor Groves, Nobody's like, hey, your video about, like, none of that is happening. It's all like, man, that's my dude.
It's another side that, not everybody gets access to.
Exactly.
And that's where I'm at, I mean, not that this life is not that it's like not always perfect, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I've built this career for myself. I've worked it, I've come a long way since hopping off the plane at Love Field, going and filming somebody's wedding, like I've done all this myself, but it's just like people don't realize what they text. They don't realize what they say in the heat of the moment. You might text me, yeah, I know it's been 3 days since I took your photos, but if you checked your email, you would realize that I told you it would be 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But if I am, you don't know what I'm doing. Like the fact that we've made ourselves so available to people at any given moment in time.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to make a post where I'm like, if you have a business inquiry with me, and you want it to be answered, you're going to email me. Don't message my personal Facebook.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
This was a hard lesson for me to learn. And I get made fun of it for a lot now. But once I learned that my phone exists for my convenience and not other people's, my phone sits almost continually on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
And my blood family members can text me or call me and break through that Do Not Disturb. And then a few other people.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I have maybe 2 or 3 times a day where I'll sit down and intentionally check my communications. And if I open my phone right now, I mean, I've got 86 missed calls and 419 text messages. And it's not that I'm, some people are like, oh, as a pastor, you're leaving those people on red. No, it's just that's the amount of communication that comes in on the daily from all these different spheres that we exist in, digitally and personally. And so if I was bound to this, man, I'd be on it all day.
Yeah.
So I have to take some time in my workday to sit down and type out responses to these people so that it can be intentional and personal. But also, my daughter needs to know that when we sit down at a meal, I'm going to be present.
Yeah.
My wife needs to know that when I say, hey, I'm going to be here at this time and this is our time, that I mean it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be glued to whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you have to have those intentional channels and avenues as you build your professional career, but also as you build your family, your marriage, your emotional, mental health and peace, routines and schedules, so that like I know when I check my pastor at email, I'm in pastor mode and I'm answering pastoral questions.
Exactly.
we have been switching things over to a church phone for that reason. That way, when I have that phone in my hand, I know that's the type of stuff I'm receiving. We moved all of our church staff communications off of texting onto another platform so that if someone on our church staff gets a text message from Pastor Jon Groves, they can know that text is either a major emergency or it's probably just something funny or friendly, because all of our business communique is happening in this particular avenue, in this particular, man, you got to have, if you haven't read Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud, it is a mind-blowingly helpful book. And then he wrote a follow-up on Necessary Endings. And those two books have been shaking me this year and really helping me get healthier as a person.
Yeah, I need to check that out. Boundaries by Henry
Cloud.
All right, I'll check it out. Because, dude, I'm just like, I think it's real hard to, like, people have access to you 24/7.
Yep.
You know, whenever in real life, I mean, the people that have access to me 24/7, people who deserve access to me 24/7, you're taking away from that.
Exactly.
You're taking away from that. And that's what kind of where I'm at. It's kind of where I'm at. And it's like, we got to do something. If I'm not messaging back, don't hit me with a hello.
Yeah.
It's for good reason. I see you. But, like, you are not the only person that I have, like, to attend to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For instance, it's like I get so, you know, I have to focus in my line of work. I have to focus on one wedding at a time whenever it comes to, like, editing and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, I mean, it's one of those things that I just, like, people, yes, it's your wedding day, but it's like yours isn't the only one that I have to get through.
Right.
And I want to carefully craft what I'm doing in a specific manner. That's why we send emails about this thing.
Yeah.
It's your own fault you don't read. I get so aggravated, dude. That's where I'm at, but I'm going to read that book. I encourage you to read that book. Also, read Reconnected by Carlos Whitaker. It changed my life. It could change yours. If you are on your phone too much, take it to L.A., leave it at your buddy's house, and then go live with some monks and the Amish. That's what he did.
There you go.
Come on. Dude, I appreciate you. I love that. I saw this guy last night, and I said, hey, hop on the pod.
I told my wife, I'm like, I'm going to go be on Hunter's podcast. She's like, John, be cool, okay? She's
We've
like,
been cool.
She's like, Hunter's very famous, and he's a cool person. She's like, I follow him on Instagram. She's like, no dad jokes, no preacher jokes. Just be cool, okay? Don't embarrass me.
Okay, you know what? Give me one of each right now.
Oh, man. Preacher jokes, those you got to come up with in the middle of a sermon.
Yeah.
As far as dad jokes, I haven't really heard anything like super funny in a while, but I will say to you and your listeners, if you hear of any good fish jokes, let me know.
My name's Hunter Ezell. This is Jon Groves. I tell you this
That's
every
a terrible
episode.
way to end.
I tell you this every episode. Put your best foot forward. Love yourself. Love one another. John, you got anything you want to say to that camera right there?
Hey, you're watching an incredible podcast. Stay tuned because some amazing stuff is coming your way and you don't want to miss it. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you share the Hunter Ezell podcast.
Come on.
Come on.
Ezell
Everybody
Film
needs
Company.
a little chaos in their life.
Jon Groves, I love you. We'll see you later. All right, bye.